Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Well, the big day came and went, the results in. So far it seems quite peaceful in the United States, and long may that last. I know some of you are probably very happy and some of you are probably very unhappy today. But the only two whose feelings that we're going to be looking at here at MadWorldTarot are the two in Montecito. Richard Eden had a bit of a naughty moment when the results started to become clear, and he tweeted, "Spare a thought for the Duke and Duchess of Montecito at this difficult time." So, after a brief coughing fit, I'm going to carry on, and I have the Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot on the tarot table today. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. I'm going to see how things are in Montecito. We haven't heard a peep from either of them. Well, Harry put on that appearance at the NATO committee meeting. A lot of people thought it was maybe a green screen and a bit of a fudge for where he actually was. And of course today, the big day, Earthshot Awards officially in Cape Town this evening. They might pop up, they might even pop up while I'm doing this reading. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But we're just going to see how they are today in general about this result. And given their past politicking that they're not supposed to do, they probably are pretty unhappy, as Richard Eden surmised in his little tweet. So we're just going to see how they feel, how Harry feels, how Meghan feels, and implications for them in general. I'm going to look next today at the visa situation to see if there's going to be any movement on that issue as a result of Trump's win in the election. So Harry and Meghan, how are they doing now that the results have come in? What were they expecting? What are they going to do next? We're going to ask individually how they're feeling about the outcome and what they fear might be the result of the outcome for them personally. And yeah, okay, we're good. Let's remind you, it's tarot. It's for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion. It's all speculation. We just read energy here. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. So, looking at the mood in Montecito today. And as I say, very silent, very mysteriously absent. Some speculation Harry isn't even in the United States. Meghan might be working on her book. I've got the 10 of Pentacles. Well, that's a very comfortable energy. Generally very settled. You know where your future is. You know where you've come from and where you're going with the 10 of Pentacles. So it's quite, on the face of it, it's quite an odd card to get as the underlying energy. It is about security, it is about permanence, it is about, as I say, where you've come from and where you're going. I think it relates very much to Harry and his desire, that I personally believe, his desire to go back to the safety and comfort of the royal family and of England in particular. For Harry, that door probably has slammed shut by now, but it's there as the underlying energy that there a few years ago he would never be in the situation where he possibly finds himself now, where he wonders where he belongs, where his future lies, where he can lay his hat, where is the place that he can call home. Where he can raise his children. The 10 of Pentacles is very much about future generations as well as your own existing security. It's about future planning and future proofing as well. A lot going on in that 10 of Pentacles for me, and I'm sure for Prince Harry as well today, of pondering that place in Portugal is just empty, desolate, beach, scrub, wastelandy sort of place. There isn't a home there yet for him to move into, even if he wanted to. So, situation, that's a long ramble. Sorry about that. But the situation, we got the 3 of Pentacles and it's in reverse. it's collaboration that's unwinding, a team that's sort of falling apart. It's not dreadful. It's not absolute ruin and devastation, the Three of Pentacles in reverse. But it does mean that for me, something is being unwound in the terms of a team and a plan and a collaboration. Things that they were working on together might now be being undone. That is the sense that the Three of Pentacles is coming through for me. So that's for them. It's having issues about their future projects, maybe. The consequences of the results in the election. What's the particular problem? That's not particularly problematic in itself. What's the particular issue? We've got the Seven of Wands, being on the defensive, feeling that you're under attack. And of course, there have been, the Daily Mail had a good dig at them about the visa issue, and I'm sure other people are having digs as well and will be feeling on the defensive. Of course, just in general, they would be feeling on the defensive because they were very clearly in the Democratic camp and on the losing side on this occasion, and so feeling sore about that just generally, just because of nothing to crow about today, nothing to feel happy about and vindicated about. It's feeling under attack, feeling that you have to defend yourself. And so it's just a difficult energy. It's not disastrous. I'm not getting the kind of disastrous energy that I thought I might get. There might be other disasters that are going on in their lives that make this particular issue quite secondary, quite insignificant actually. So let's test this. What's going on behind the scenes? What's really going on behind the scenes? This card down here, just it's the divorce card. It just keeps coming up. Two things about the Justice card in reverse. Very much for me the divorce card at the moment. But of course it could also be the visa issue, which I'm going to look at separately next. I was going to merge them all into one mega reading, but I thought let's just keep the two things separately because that really only affects Harry, doesn't affect Meghan so much. The Justice card in reverse could be both. For me, dominant energy that they might be in the thick of a divorce that we might only find out about in 6 months. This could have been rumbling on for quite a long time. In my opinion, this is behind the scenes, this is hidden, this is why we don't know about it. A lot of people wondered if today might be the day they would just drop the news and bury it in all the stuff that's coming, all the sort of post-mortems about the election and all that discussion that's going on. Maybe, but definitely there is something going on there, and also secondary energy for me. In my opinion, there is concern about the visa situation as well. Legalities, something about legalities more than just divorce things going on. So consistent energy for me. What are their minds on? What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? Wow, their minds are on all fall down. This is the calamitous energy that I intuited was here in this reading, and I wasn't picking up with the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands and the Three of Pentacles in reverse, but the Tower. This is a Tower moment for them in terms of their plans, their connections. All kinds of towers might fall as a result of this election and Trump winning, the Diddy situation. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Other situations that might get increasingly difficult for them and their associates, and which is why we might have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. That deals that they had, collaborations that they were planning, people they hung out with, networked with, those ties might be unraveling as a result of the news that came through from the election. But that's a big card. That is, they're very troubled, by something. We're reading on the election just generally, so that obviously, but something about this feels to them as if this could really all come crashing down now. And again, it's a divorce card, so what could all come crashing down is their marriage as a result of this, and maybe Harry's pull, his desire to go to somewhere, maybe England, where he feels more at home, where he can consolidate his life and feel more comfortable. Their expectations going into the election, what were they expecting? Page of Cups. It's a positive card, positive communication. They were feeling that they were tapped into it. They were feeling optimistic, that there would be positive news. That might even have felt that they, at some level, and Meghan in particular, might have felt that she would be involved in some aspect. And I think she did try to get invited to the convention in Chicago. I think she was hoping she'd get a big moment where she could introduce Kamala Harris on stage or something like that. Never happened. I think she was perceived as toxic even by those sort of the inner circle of the party, even though they had strong connections to the Bidens and the Obamas and Gavin Newsom and all the rest of them. Very, very strong connections. So there was this sense of emotional connection, optimism, and maybe the feeling that she in particular would be involved, have some role to play. Never came to pass. What's coming for them next, just generally what's happening? I've got the Queen of Swords, a very decisive energy. It's somebody, and I would say it's Meghan's energy with that Queen of Swords. I don't feel it's coming from outside. I feel something's going on in the sense of, well, I've got to be strategic, I've got to make plans, I've got to get myself out of this mess that I've got myself into, and maybe even go my own way in future because of what has gone on. And perhaps the brand is so toxic, it's unsalvageable, the marriage. Although there's a little voice in the back of my mind saying, expect to see them together still doing something just because they have to, like the Invictus Games, something like that. But I feel that she is going to get quite ruthless quite soon about her life path, about what she's doing. It could even be the book that there is some speculation she's busy writing now because she doesn't have anything else to do. So the poison pen might be out, my opinion, of course, and she could be busy writing her tell-all, and in which she takes everyone down. It could even include her husband in that. So let's look at them individually. First of all, Harry, feelings about what's going on. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Feeling overwhelmed, feeling depleted, feeling unbalanced. He wants to go back to the comfort of this Ten of Pentacles. It keeps drawing me to it, as this is where I feel safe and where I feel complete and where I feel that life is in equilibrium. I can manage things. I think he's feeling just quite shocked. The Tower is a card of shock, sudden twists, and I don't think that they saw this one coming at all. And so I do think it was a real shock. Just processing the outcome of the election has been a shock for them. And I think for him in particular, it's shocking because it's directly impacting him now in ways that elections in the past wouldn't have. No matter what rhetoric there might have been about, we want to be a republic and get rid of the monarchy and their waste of space and waste of money and all of that, he wouldn't have noticed that. But he's going to notice this, and he's going to feel quite jangled. His nerves, I'm getting nerves, a sense of just feeling jangled by it. And okay, now what do I do? And I'm short of cash. Two of Pentacles in reverse, always short of cash, feeling overwhelmed, feeling exhausted, depleted, not in a good space. It's not catastrophic. There's catastrophic, Justice in reverse and Tower. So we don't need to look far on this tarot table to find cards of catastrophe. Meghan, her energy, got the Six of Pentacles. It's a card of balance and the card of quid pro quo. And she might be seeing in this an opportunity for something, dare I say, she might see an opportunity to go into something. This Queen of Swords is interesting. Where I'm tending in this energy, I wasn't expecting to tend in this energy, but I watched a British psychic, Craig Hamilton Parker. He's quite entertaining, and sometimes he says some quite interesting things. He was one of the people who picked up the first assassination attempt and the second. He said there would be a second. He has even talked about a third, I hate to say. So I watch him every now and then, dip in just to see, because he does talk about the royals. And he said he's always been quite firm about his knowing that Trump would win. He said, interestingly, in his most recent talk about the royals, that Meghan and Kamala Harris might get together on some sort of charitable project. And I'm seeing it right here in this reading. I had kind of bookmarked it mentally to look at much further down the line. It's one of those, we'll get to that in 6 months or a year. It showed up right now. Queen of Swords, a Libran lady, Six of Pentacles, charity. So I don't think that Meghan is knocked down. I think there are things going on in her personal life more than are knocking her down right now than the outcome of this election. I'm sure she's mortified, but I think she sees an opportunity, and she might be looking at it strategically and long term. That's what the Queen of Swords does, and thinks there's an opportunity here for me. If I start here, I could end up there. Just saying. It's what's come through, so we take it for what it's worth. Hopes and fears for the Parkles. I was tending more to fears than hopes, but let's see. Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is the deals, the contracts, the opportunities to monetize themselves, their children, whatever else, with that Page of Pentacles in reverse. Not so much. Difficult for them. The mood in the country might be quite different now, and things that they were bandwagons that they were jumping on, for instance, online censorship, which they call online safety, things like that, the quite woke agenda, things like that. No appetite for it in the country right now, and so they might feel that avenues that they've been exploring to monetize, gone with that Page of Pentacles. Negotiations that they might have been busy with, deals. It's coming back to this Three of Pentacles in reverse, that it might upset certain schemes, certain business opportunities for both of them. Who knows what they're up to behind the scenes. They do lead very secretive lives, the pair of them, and they do seem to enjoy doing that and then surprising all of us with the strange things that they've been up to. But one of the deals that could go sour as a result of what's going on is her book. Even if she is busy writing it, she might struggle to find a willing publisher, somebody who's going to give her a 20 million advance like Harry got for his 4-book deal. Only 1 book so far. Outcome for the Parkles of this news, of this moment in history, because it is a moment in history, whichever way you feel about it. 6 of Wands, it's not over for them, and certainly not for Meghan. I get Meghan particularly in that 6 of Wands. She feels that there's an opportunity in here for her. I don't think her political aspirations ever died. I think she was just told, you're so toxic, everyone hates you. I'm sure that they tested her team, her agents tested to see whether there was any appetite for President Markle or President Mountbatten, Windsor or Sussex or whatever she calls herself. I don't know. I'm being very snarky, of course, just to clarify. But I think she thinks that there's something something here for her to grab, which is interesting. It's always surprising when you deal with this kind of personality because, well, for me as an energy reader, I am surprised when I see this kind of ability to bounce back, this resilience that comes from not really having empathy or shame or cringe, ability to feel those kinds of emotions. It's just like, okay, what's in it for me? That's what's really coming through very strongly in this reading, I have to say. Apart from this Justice and this Tower card, it's what's in it for me. He wants to go home again. Consistent message. It turned into a reading really about Megan and her aspirations, and they're still there, just so you know. Despite the opinion polls and whatever else. But there it is. That's the reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.